Whether you want to admit it or not, backgrounds are an essential part of your video. It is literally the foundation of a scene and can literally make or break one of your favorite moments with some of your characters. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make a background for your animation. There are many ways to go about it, but I'm going to give the method that is the easiest for me. First thing I like to do is go into a website called Sketchfab. This is what helps me generate an idea for my background, and I just sketch it out from there. Now, I don't want to go with something that I've seen multiple times like a grass field. Let's try something like a city park. Now, let's see what I like. So I found the model that I want to go with, and with this model, I'm just going to shift around. This is the steps on how you move it around, by the way. I like to look at it, turn it a bit, find the angle I want to go for. So I move the angles around a bit, and I like this angle the best. So what I'm going to do is screenshot this with my laptop. And with that screenshot, I will then take that into Adobe Animate. So, after Adobe Animate loads for you, you're going to open a new file, and from that file, you're going to import the screenshot that you, screenshotted. It doesn't really matter the size all that much, it's just a matter of fact of making sure to edit it. So, if you've seen my How to Make Object Assets tutorial, it's a very similar process. First thing we're going to do is get our pen tool. I like to go for a green color, so we locate the green color. I will then proceed to start outlining everything that I would like to do. The difference with this and the object show assets is there are going to be different layers. So you don't want your trees to be on the same layer as your ground, because when you're trying to move one or the other, it shouldn't all connect. So I'll start by outlining the ground, and I'll show you where to go from there. And before I forget, make sure that your pen tool is on a different layer than your screenshot that you have. Also, when you have your lines all done for a certain area, you can curve them if you want. Remember, bottom right corner shows the curve, that means you can curve it. And if it shows the half of a square, you can move around a point. Alright, this part I do improvise a little bit. You can see that you can't see behind the grass right here. So I just have to imagine where these lines go and how it'll line up with the gate. So I'm going to start that on a different layer. I'm going to hide the other layer with the eye thing over here. So layer 4, I'm going to consider to be the background. And for parts that show you shaded area, I'd recommend to, probably add some lines there. Just so you can do that for future reference, like where you want to put the shading to make it look simple, stuff like that. Also, don't be afraid to quote-unquote cheat a little bit when you see kind of some of the same things. See all these fence posts back here? I'm going to copy and paste and maybe just slant them a little bit if I see they're a bit off. So let me create this one really quickly. Alright, so I got the post, and I'm just gonna Control-C, Control-V. Take the post, I'm going to connect it to the other one. Make sure that it does connect with that black dot right there. Both the lines, actually, because I'll do this as an example. So this isn't connected anymore, and if I try to use the bucket tool, I can't put anything there. Obviously, I can with the other one since it's connected to both the points right here. After a couple of spurts of editing, we finally got everything outlined to where I want it to be. Yay! Now with that, we're going to move on to step 2, adding in all the fills. I'll start with this tree as an example. So it's the fill and the shading we're going over. Now this is a very simple process. All you need to do is go to your fill tool, click on that, go to the eyedropper tool, and click on the color that you want to see. So I click on that, press K for the bucket tool, and fill that in. And you can see if I remove the lines, you can see that I created a fill. Now, when you take the lines away, I'll be honest, it does look a little rough, but there are certain things you can do to fix that. Let's go with the main color. So what I like to do is look at this and see what percentage it is for B right there. So it's showing me 45. And if I want to go up in shading or down in shading, I usually just go about 5%. So to do that, let's take this as an example. I'm going to eyedrop the other side, go into the fill and take it down to 40. That way it's just a little bit of shading. Definitely stick with the main color, not just what the picture gives you. Now, after you got all your colors in place for that, I'm just going to double click the lines and just press delete. Now from that, I'm going to select all of it without selecting anything else. I'm going to convert it to a symbol, and that way I can move it around. So maybe like, it's a little slanted, so I'll slant that a little bit. Maybe I'm like, oh, it's a little too small. Let's make it big. That's pretty big. And with all the other lines, I'm just going to do the exact same process. Another quick side note to add, if some things don't even look like they match, think about where the direction of the light might be coming from. For example, this front-facing wall would have the same color as this front-facing wall right here. This is the top of the wall right here, so that means this top of the gate should have the same color as well. So I'll just take the same fill for that, I drop that, and copy that over. Little things you can add to your background for a bit more realism is adding just simple gradients. You don't need to add a ton of texture or anything to your grass, sunset, anything like that. All you really need is just a gradient if you're just going for a simple look, but if you're really trying to go in depth, then yeah, I would recommend adding some texture. Now, the last thing that I want to do is actually give an effect towards the lights. Now, for me personally, if I was looking at this, I would think the lights are off. So let's make them look like they're actually on. What I'm going to do is go into the symbol that I created. Now, make sure you double click inside the light symbol itself. That way you can see the fills. What you're going to do from here is go to Properties, then Frame. You're going to want to go down to Filters, press the plus button, and click Glow. From there, we can then edit it to make it look like the light is actually glowing. So for me, I'm going to click the light itself, I drop the color, turn the quality to high, increase the blur, and try to fixate from there what I want it to look like. And from there, to make it fully go into effect, I'll do little things like, let's say, add a tint to the background here. A little bit of a darker background, just for everything to fit. And maybe I want to do that with everything else as well. But from here on out, it's up to you now what you want to do with the background. You can add little extensions over here where it may have been cut off. You can enlarge the background for a scene if you need to. Maybe you just want a little scene with them on the bench, so it's just a close-up shot of that. Or you just want a cool shot of the thing altogether. But this is just the start of my object show tutorials. If you want to learn more stuff on how to animate faces, limbs, just an object show in general, make sure to subscribe to stay in tune for that. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.